The World Health Organization has expressed concern that rich countries spooked by the emergence of the Omicron variant of coronavirus could step up hoarding of COVID-19 vaccines and strain global supplies again. At a news conference, the WHO's Kate O'Brien worried that hoarding of COVID-19 vaccines could complicate efforts to stamp out the pandemic.
We are not going to get out of this unless we actually have true vaccine equity and distribution of vaccines.
The UN Health Agency reiterated its advice to governments against the widespread use of boosters in their populations so that well-stocked countries instead can send doses to vulnerable people in poorer countries that have largely lacked access to vaccines. Months of short supplies of COVID-19 vaccines have begun to ease over the last 2 months or so, and doses are finally getting to needier countries. The WHO wants that to continue. Eligibility for COVID-19 vaccine boosters in the United States is widening. AP's Ben Thomas reports.
The Food and Drug Administration has cleared a third dose of Pfizer's vaccine to people as young as 16 if it's been 6 months since their last shot. Hours after that decision, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention lifted the last barrier, saying those teens should get their booster as soon as it's time. It's not yet clear if younger teens will need one. The U.S. and many other nations have been urging adults to get booster shots to pump up immunity that can wane months after vaccination. Those calls have intensified with the discovery of the new Omicron variant. The Pfizer vaccine is the only option available for children and teenagers in the U.S. I'm Ben Thomas.
President Biden sounded the alarm over the global weakening of democracy and urged nations to step up efforts to protect basic rights. We get more from AP's Sagar Magani.
The president calls it the defining challenge of our time in the U.S. and globally.
Will we allow the backward slide of rights and democracy to continue unchecked?
At the first White House summit for democracy, he said all the data is pointing in the wrong direction. The president's urging leaders and experts from more than 100 countries to lock arms and boost democratic institutions. It's a key part of the Biden foreign policy outlook to convince the world authoritarianism cannot be allowed to rise. But he notes challenging it takes hard decisions.
Democracy doesn't happen by accident.
Sagar Magani, Washington.
A People's Tribunal set up by a prominent British barrister to assess evidence on China's alleged rights abuses against the Uyghur people concluded Thursday that the abuse constituted genocide and crimes against humanity. During a statement at the beginning of the tribunal's session on Thursday, Chair Sir Geoffrey Nice said that the evidence heard at the tribunal had satisfied members.
The tribunal is satisfied beyond reasonable doubt that the PRC, by the imposition of measures to prevent births intended to destroy a significant part of the Uyghurs in Xinjiang, as such, has committed genocide.
The Chinese embassy in London rejected the group's findings. Researchers say an estimated 1 million people or more, most of them Uyghurs, have been confined in re-education camps in China's western Xinjiang region in recent years. Chinese authorities have been accused of imposing forced labor, systematic forced birth control and torture, and separating children from incarcerated parents. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres will attend the 2022 Beijing Winter Olympic Games in February, despite a growing number of Western countries announcing diplomatic boycotts. UN spokesman Stéphane Dujarric said Thursday the Secretary General had received an invitation from the International Olympic Committee to attend the Games, and he has accepted it. Citing China's human rights abuses, the United States, Britain, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and Lithuania have said they will not be sending diplomatic delegations to the Games. The boycott allows the nations to send athletic delegations to Beijing while refusing to send any high-ranking officials or dignitaries as an official delegation.
Hi, thank you for watching. I hope the videos are useful for you. Please subscribe to my channel using the button below.